Well, Mark, first of all, just reflect on the win over London, having to come from behind, but an emphatic win in the end.
Yeah, very tough game. I thought London really gave it to us, especially that first half. And I thought they were faster out of the blocks than us, but I thought it were really credit to our lads how they composed themselves, and I thought we were really clinical that opening 20 minutes of the second half, which proved to be pivotal. And yeah, overall a really satisfying win. London are no mugs, especially when they're at home, and I thought we showed some really good character in how we wrestled back control of the game, and finished off the tries that we created. So different sort of winner game for us, as I said straight after the game. And it'll be another interesting challenge this week that we need to make sure that we attack head on as well.
Yeah. It was a tough first half, and I don't think it really told the story of the half as well. But did it take going behind to maybe give the players a bit of a jump start after the long bus journey?
Yeah, I don't think we played particularly bad. I thought we could have done one or two things tactically a little bit better, but I just thought London played really, really well. They came out of the blocks absolutely firing, and it showed. And we had to really wrestle back control of that, and it took us a good 40 minutes to get a foothold in the game. And when we were reviewing the game, it's not like we played bad by any means. I just thought London, you've got to give credit to them. I thought they played really well, and that's the beauty of this league, isn't it? That you've got to be on the money every week, and we certainly had to earn that win.
Yeah, you must have been really pleased with the second half though, and just the ruthless nature of once you did get your noses in front, especially that second half, it just kind of dominated both defensively and in attack.
Yeah, really happy with that second half. I thought we left some points out there as well. There's a couple of chances I thought we could have finished off, but overall a really good day down. I spoke midweek about not wanting to blame a bus journey down there, and we got there. Sometimes you can get caught a bit cold. I don't think that was the case. I just thought London give us it. We got the win and got out of there, so job done. And we'll be fully focused on HUNSLET now this week coming. Yeah,
momentum's kind of with you now. You've won 5 of your last 6 games. You must be really pleased with that record and kind of the run that you've been on as well.
Yeah, we're just focusing on each week at a time, if I'm honest with you. It's a long season, very long season in that sense that momentum can swing, but it's more just focusing on putting them improvements in each week so that, come the end of the year, you're where you want to be and hopefully in a bit of form then. So there's still a few areas that we feel we can go chasing, and we're not naive enough to think that teams won't be looking at that as well. So we'll be chasing them in training all week and just trying to focus on getting the zone performance where we want it to be, and we're slowly getting there, but we're also aware that the day that you take your foot off the gas and don't do the hard work in training is the day that you get burned. So we're just focusing on upping standards every week, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll all be where we want to be and empties his tanks thinking what season this has been, but each week at a time.
It's really congested that kind of top half of the table, and I guess a good opportunity potentially to narrow the gap on them as well.
Yeah, I mean, all we're looking at is we want 2 points this week against HUNSLET, just like they'll be wanting 2 points against us. If you focus on that, the table takes care of itself, doesn't it? So yeah, it's a real tight league, and I think this first half of the year is just that, just trying to get them runs on the board and get your own groove, and then I think as you're coming into that running in the season, that's when you start really focusing on that table a bit more. But we're just focusing on our own performance, and we know if we do that, then results take care of themselves, and hence the table will do what you need it to do. But we're in for a tough game this week versus HUNSLET. I know the bottom of the table, but Dean's a good coach. They've obviously signed well, bringing Lee Gaskell in and players like that, proven players, and we know we need to be at his best this week to get anything out of the game.
Yeah, the fact that they are bottom of the table, you can't read too much into that, can you? There's, all of the teams are good in this league.
Yeah, we're on about this. I remember when I was coaching at Wakefield and Wigan rolled into town, and I don't think anyone gave us a cat in hell's chance to beat Wigan, and I think we were the last team to beat Wigan before they went on to win that grand final. So it just shows you that we were bottom of the league then and turned over what turned out to be the league champions. So we definitely won't be going in thinking it's going to be an easy game. We know that it's going to be a tough one. HUNSLET will be well up for this. They need the points as well, obviously, to to get their season going where they want it to go, and yeah, we just got to focus on our own standard and making sure we nail how we want to play.
Yeah, and Dean Muir, I know, was frustrated after the Widnes defeat and how many points they conceded early on in that one as well. Yeah. How well do you know Dean?
Yeah, I've known Dean a lot of years. I used to coach against Dean in the college leagues going back a good 10 years ago, so I know Dean very well. Very astute coach, knows his rugby inside out, and I thought HUNSLET were very unlucky against Widnes, if I'm honest with you. After watching that game, I thought they could have quite easily turned that into a win, and you know, Widnes are a good team themselves, so we know that it ain't going to be a case of showing up and things are going to happen. We're going to have to be at its best, because HUNSLET's got nothing to lose in that sense. You know, all the pressure's on us, and we've got to make sure that we deliver. Simple as that.
And there's a bit of a historic rivalry between York and HUNSLET as well. How much can you, I guess, lean on that going into this game?
Well, yeah, you've just said it. It's historic, isn't it? So I think it's a new team. You know, a new sort of rivalry is formed. Like, we'll respect HUNSLET. Like any team in this league, we'll give them, you know, the utmost respect. But I don't really buy into that. If I'm honest with you, it's a case of you'll analyse an opposition and you'll look at where you feel you can get some joy, just like they will with us, and then we'll focus on making sure that we bring that best version of us to hopefully exploit that. But like any given week, you've got to make sure that your own standard's where it needs to be, and you know, not get too caught up on all the emotional side of it. Yeah.
Your team news, any doubts or concerns going into this week at all?
Atta took a bump to his shoulder, but he's fine. So he's in contention. He could have gone back on against London, but you know, we just didn't want to risk him. Apart from that, touch wood, just the lads that's been out. Jack Teamby had to miss last week because he had a bit of a flare up on a shoulder problem, but that was literally just a case of 4 or 5 days rest, and he's good to go. So as long as we get through rest of training this week, it should be a pretty healthy squad to select from.
And Ben Jones Bishop took a bit of a shot to the head. I'm assuming didn't need concussion protocols, or was it not that serious?
No, it were a blow to the snout, so more painful than anything else. He took a bit of a blow on his nose, so they always make your eyes water. But yeah, there were no concussion protocol or anything. It was just mainly, I think he got a bit of a broken nose that the physio were straightening up after the game.
So you've got plenty of competition for places now. Are you looking to rest and rotate as you prepare for the weekend?
No, long story short, 'cause I don't think you can afford to. We want his best players playing every week, and best players are the people who's performing best in training, and there's some real good competition for spots at the moment, and I expect training to carry on being as intense as it is, and some real selection headaches to have, and long may it continue, all being well.
Yeah, Connor Fitzsimmons and Harvey Reynolds got a run out as well. What did you make to their performance?
Yeah, good. I think Harvey's still a young kid learning his trade, so we've got to be careful with Harvey, just to not expect too much too soon, but he's definitely showing a lot of potential, and Fitzy seems to be over his little niggle that he's got. He trained fully last night, so hopefully he's got through that game without any adverse reactions. So as I said, we didn't want to take Docs down there, Akuma, with him just coming back with the long travel and all that, and then Santi, I just felt could do with a bit of a freshen up. So they'll be back in contention, and some decent selection headaches to have.
Jax O'Neill still with a tight hamstring, or?
No, Jax is fine. He's trained fully as well. He was just another that were more precaution with him coming back from an hamstring strain. We didn't fancy taking him down and sitting about for that long. So Jax will be back in contention for Sunday as well.
And you said at the weekend, pretty soon you'll need to give Jacob Gannon and Taylor Pemberton a game as well, and also Brad Ward coming back into the mix as well. These are really good, I guess, problems for you to have at the moment, aren't they? Yeah, they all know the challenge in front of them. They've got to make sure they're nailing the training and making it impossible for us not to select them. So as I said, some real good selection headaches at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see how everyone trains this next couple of days, and some tough calls to make on Friday when we name the team. How challenging is it to get that right balance of trying to get everyone minutes and keep the squad happy as well? You're never going to keep everyone happy, because naturally rugby players want to play rugby, but I suppose my job's really easy, that I pick the best team for York Knights every week. And that's what I always use as my compass, who's going to get the job done for us. And
That's all I'll ever focus on. You know, nothing's ever personal. It's just about the team and making sure that we pick the strongest team possible for whatever opposition it is we're playing that week. And yeah, players are naturally going to get a bit disgruntled and happy if they're not playing, but ultimately they're in control of their own destiny, because the harder you train, the more you put yourself forward, the more likely you are to get selected in the team. Because I've never been one to pick on name or anything like that. I'll always pick on what people deliver A on a game and B in training if they're trying to fight into that team. So you know, I'll always stick to that philosophy as well.
We're a difficult start to the year, wasn't it, after losing two assistants. So what sort of challenges does that present as a coach? I know you had some experience, didn't you, at Wakefield?
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. Yeah, I think the start of the year was mainly we had a few injuries as well. You know, the complete opposite of what we've got now. We were down to as last 17. Yeah, people come and go, but you know, Will Leach stepped up really well, who's you know, got a nice promising future in coaching himself long term, and he's a York lad through and through, and the lads have really responded well to how Will slotted into that. So you know, I'm just glad that we could offer Will an opportunity to step up to the task and fill in for losing a couple of assistants. So yeah, you're always on the lookout for people that's going to strengthen you as a coaching unit. I certainly don't think I know it all, and I think it's really important that long term we do get a cohesive coaching unit where have different lenses on the game, different perspectives, and yeah, I'm just really happy that for Will as well, that he could put his best foot forward for you know, getting one of them assistant slots as well.
Does it strengthen your belief as a coach that you have moved on pretty quickly and found a way without those guys who have left?
Yeah, listen, both offered good strengths when they were here, but naturally you either adapt or die, don't you? You just crack on with things. You know, that's the brutal nature of sport. So as you said, I've probably had good experience of it under some pretty tough circumstances. So one thing that I've been really pleased with at York is we've got a really solid senior leadership team, and you know, I were always pretty calm about it because I knew what sort of people we had around us in terms of playing personnel as well. So yeah, just one of them, isn't it? You just crack on with it as normal.
And as Paul McShane, has he had to accelerate his coaching development a little bit?
Yeah, listen, Mac is going to be a good coach. He's been coaching HUNSLET for a good 10 years, hasn't he? As it is, he's a bit of a rugby league boffin, knows his stuff. So yeah, really enjoying working with Mac as well. You know, once he's done playing, which could be probably another 5 years from now, knowing Macca, how he goes, he'll be one of the first people you'd want on your coaching team because he proper loves it and studies it. So yeah, I'm also conscious not to put too much on him, you know, and overburden him, because at the end of the day he's still playing as well. But you know, he'll be coaching through the week. We let him run little drills. He always has his opinion on coach meetings and things like that. And yeah, really enjoying working with him.
You can tell when he plays he's got a great rugby mind, but
yeah,
always translating to coaching. Do you see a bright future for him long term as potentially a head coach? So?
Yeah, I do. I think Mac, he just, as you said there, I think some players are good players, but they don't always, what's the right word, love the game. You know, they don't want to study the game. They just happen to be good at the game. Macca's not that type. He literally studies the game. You know, he'll study right from the amateur leagues through to Super League. He picks up patterns of play, looks at different trends, all that sort of stuff. He has his own view on it. You know, you can tell that you know, Darryl's had a big impression on him when he were at Castleford, and how Darryl likes to play the game, and he's also smart enough to put his own spin on how he sees it as well. So yeah, I think he's got a good future in coaching after he's finished playing, and just a pleasure to coach himself and you know, work with on his coaching journey as well.
Just finally, on the bigger picture, I know it's week to week, but you are up there in the league, you've got a semi-final to look forward to. Are you excited about what's achievable this season?
Yeah, but I'm also very aware that if you start looking too far ahead, you end up achieving nothing. So I think the beauty for me anyway, James, the championship this year, and I know it's really cliche, but like, it's so tight. You know, they're so tight. There's genuinely, most teams could probably say they fancy having a crack at it this year. So it's really important you don't get carried away with that. You know, we know ourselves where our strengths are, where we need to improve. If we just go week by week and achieve that, we know we won't be far off come end of the year. But you know, we just need to make sure that we don't get carried away. You know, end of the day we started the season with 3 losses, which shows you how tight it can be. You know, apart from the Oldham game, there were narrow losses too. So it's really important that you just take it week by week and make sure that you deliver on a weekly basis.